All right, guys, we have another guest in the building. He is in the most popular international group called JoSH. He is an author. He does everything. He's been in movies, you name it. We got Rup. Rup, thank you for coming on the pod. We would love to have this. This has been a long, ongoing thing that we've had. Sanj, yourself, apparently, this is the first time you guys have met.
Yeah.
But let's hear about this. This is very interesting. As soon as you walked in, first thing you said was like, "Hey, this is a long time coming here." So explain that. What's going on here?
First of all, guys, thanks for having me here. I love this disco setup. It's freaking amazing.
It's like the Justin Timberlake Rock Your Body video.
This is how it's supposed to be done. You're doing it the right way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Appreciate it.
Look at that. Any sorry picture. It looks great, man. I love it.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, picture looks good. A lot of detoxing. A lot of
No, it's great. Listen, I've known about Sanj from when we started, right? Like, so we started back in the 2000s, maybe like performing in the late 90s.
Yeah.
And then our first break was in India, in Bombay, 2000. And I remember like one of our mutual friends would always say, "Hey, my boy's out there too. My boy's out there too." And so it took us like 25 years to get together, man.
And now we're going to go rip him now when we go see him.
We are, man.
Oh, it's the same guy. Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Same banda.
Poor guy, man.
But yeah, so it's a pleasure to freaking finally meet you guys, both of you, and congrats to all the incredible work that you've done in the industry.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you're definitely an OG, man, in the industry. Yeah.
Well, yourself as well, which is why we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
Right. And also off camera, there were so many interesting things that you were talking about.
Right.
And we want to get into all those things. So as far as starting, let's get the elephant out of the room.
Sure.
JoSH, the other half.
Yeah.
Q, where is he right now?
So Q moved to Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
He moved there about 4 years ago. Because his wife got a job over there. So the idea was that, hey, listen, he'll be closer to that part of the world, which is where we perform the most. We perform mostly India, Pakistan, UAE. And so instead of flying both of us out there, which would always cut into profits into the business, he would already be there.
Yeah.
Sadly, that didn't really work out the way it was supposed to for several reasons. We're also both hands-on family guys like yourself who like to spend a lot of time at home. And so we kind of went into that part of our life. And so fatherhood's taken over, just family stuff, and then interests. As your incredible intro stated, I like to do a lot of things. So, I keep myself busy with acting and food, a lot of food these days.
Yeah.
And so we haven't really, gotten together that much, sadly, but we do have a brand new single out this week. So
wicked.
That's fun. Yeah.
What's the name of the single?
It's called Rogi, Rogi, Rogi.
Oh, wow. And that will be out. Actually, put a date on it.
Listen to it?
Yeah, I have it somewhere. It's August 10th.
August 10th?
August 10th is coming out. Yeah, we'll play it for you. Sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so we'll put a link in the description as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
For,
we have the video done, everything. If you
maybe let's play the video after.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it a go.
Yeah.
Listening, I remember early 2000s, that was when I got into Punjabi music in general, right? And I remember acquaintance, someone that we know, introduced me to JoSH, and a group of us just played it all the time.
Oh man.
Doesn't matter who's when we did these Desi events, we always played JoSH. Doesn't matter. Everyone's like, "Yo, what is this?" Yeah. It was we thought it was ours, And to me, listening to just Punjabi music in general, and then listening to JoSH, it was a little bit of both, but it was a good hybrid. And I just thought that was phenomenal, and just the way you guys wrote, the way the music was, and big ups to you on that. I love that. And sometimes an album just it's a little bit of evergreen. You can hear it more. I can go back to it and listen to it, and I wouldn't get.
Well, it becomes timeless, right?
Timeless,
Nowadays, for example, when people listen to hip hop, R&B, and all that, they're like, "Oh, that sounds a little bit dated."
Yeah.
And there's certain albums and genres that just never sound dated, which is what I found. Because at that time, when you guys were doing that stuff in the early 2000s, I also think Pakistani pop music was at its peak.
So was Indian pop music.
Yeah, Indian pop music, but not so much Punjabi. Now, now it's it's all about Punjabi, that.
But it had that India MTV vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the best.
So
mix.
back then, basically, you know, we had Q comes from a background. This is very interesting. Q comes from, he was born in the Middle East, and then from Karachi he moved to Toronto.
Yeah.
Sorry, to Montreal, which is where I'm from. And so I brought in, born and raised in Montreal, I was the one that was listening to Desi music.
Yeah.
And he's the one that came in bringing Western vibes in.
Oh, wow, okay.
Very, very awkward. So for us to make a track together and to agree on a track that we both liked was the sound that you heard in JoSH.
Okay.
And it was always difficult, right? Because I wanted a little bit more.
Well, it's good.
quality.
Right in the middle of the road, right? Like,
Middle of the road, yeah. It did make it more difficult, but that's the sound that you sort of connected to, because you could connect to the Desi side, but then you could connect to the fact that, you know, there was some Canadian element in it. And believe it or not, our first major album that won our MTV Indie Artist of the Year, that was produced by Carl Wolf. Carl Wolf from Toronto, Montreal boy, actually, originally. And big star, you know, in today's world. And he's the one that I think that really brought in that boy band sound, giving two guys like a duo, this sound where we, you know, record 8-part harmonies. You never heard a Desi band come out with 8-part harmonies.
no,
and
not even one harmony. Well, not even a 1-part harmony.
I would say even till today.
Yeah,
very
it's like left chorus, right chorus, middle. Like that's
it. So we would have these harmonies below the lead and then above the lead, and then and you know, we obviously learned a lot of that, but that was the sound that gave us our edge. Because every artist, when you're breaking, you need to have something different, right? You can't just come in, swim with the sharks and not really bring a different element. And so I think that's what we brought and kind of just stuck to that.
See, for me, because I moved to India in 2006, and I found that, and obviously at that time, like India was way more welcoming, because we were having this conversation off camera, but basically, Pakistani like music and culture was acceptable in India as compared to like what it is now. Now there's a little bit more of that drama and politics involved, but I remember like Atif Aslam being like massive and signing by Tips, because when he got signed to Tips, that's around the time I was doing work there. And I remember that just being massive. And then, but I think you guys were like, you guys were even before all that, right?
We were split right down the middle. We have an Indian and a Pakistani band, right? So we were going to both countries all the time.
What label did you get signed with in India in the beginning?
Our first album was with Tips.
Oh, so it was with Tips as well?
That was with Tips. That album didn't do that well. And then our second, third, and fourth were all with Universal.
Okay.
India. And so, yeah, those are the ones that, you know, put us on the map.
Was it because the label didn't understand what you guys were about, or was it like you guys learned from the first album?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think there was learning from both ends. Can't really pinpoint or, you know, point the finger when you want to blame something. But the first problem was that we didn't live there.
Yeah.
You know, we weren't able to work an album. And what I mean by working an album, as you know, but just for the audience, is basically you have to do your press, you have to do your media, and you have to be in the region where this album is being released. It's very important physically. Believe it or not, even in today's world, the social media world, it's still very important to be on the ground where you're releasing the album.
Well, you got to be relevant to the people that are like consuming it, right?
Correct.
So just to add on, like even like we were talking about this earlier, Sanj, like Punjabi music is very slang heavy, right? With what it is now. How can you choose like a slang or just for lyrics? Like, for example, Sanj, if you do a song, yours is more city based. Other people now do a little bit more.
You stick with what you know.
Yeah.
I think
did that ever come across? Or
100%.
Yeah.
You have to be who you are.
Yeah.
Right. And look, I wasn't born in a pind.
Right.
You know, I speak Punjabi. I read and write
Speak French?
Yeah, it's my first language.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I speak Punjabi, and my parents are from Kenya. They were born and raised in Kenya.
Yeah.
So our Punjabi is very different from a pind. I can't exactly relate to the things that happened on a daily basis in the pind.
Yeah.
Right. I can't relate to the mitti of Punjab because I wasn't born there and I never lived there. Do I associate with it? Yeah. Do I believe I'm Punjabi? Yeah. But I also believe that there's lots of people like me in the world, and it's a growing number of people that don't exactly associate to the Punjab of growing up there, right? So back to what you were saying.
They get basically, there's that whole distinction between culture and religion.
Yeah, sure.
And I remember so when I did a show in Hyderabad a long time ago, the promoter and the club owner was a Singh, but he was, I think, fourth generation Singh from Hyderabad. So culturally, he was South Indian, right? But religiously, he was Sikh.
Probably couldn't speak a word of Punjabi.
No, they couldn't.
Yeah.
Right. But like, and so that was the first time where it was like in my face, right? There was a distinction because I'm Punjabi. Like, but what does that actually mean, right? Like, you would assume like, like I'm Sikh, but then there's Hindus that live in Punjab. There's Muslims that live in Punjab. There's Christians that live in Punjab, and so it made me start to develop that there's a distinction between the culture and then the religion, and that helped me think of when I'm making songs and music. Then you're thinking, oh, wait a minute, like, so I don't do, like, for example, I don't do cast songs. I've never done like a Jut song.
Yeah.
Not because I don't have nothing against it. It's just not what I want to
don't relate to
portray.
it. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to. I don't want to portray that or push that on anybody. Whereas I appreciate the culture, and so I will push what I think is important in the culture.
Sure.
And stay away from all that stuff. That's always been my personal taste, right? Like, I'm not interested in going into, like, everyone's like, why haven't you done a religious album? Because at one point,
Well, you're the most non-religious guy I've ever met in my life.
well, no, I'm very spiritual, but no, I'm religious. What are you talking about?
No, there's 0 ounce of religion in you.
What are you talking about? See, why you gotta say that in public? Why you gotta say that in public?
Well, it's just true. It's just
I'm a very spiritual banda.
It's a little awkward. Just gonna-
no. This is normal here.
This is normal. We live in the awkward.
No, but
Yeah.
what you're saying about cultural and religion is very, very important. People must understand that there's a difference. When we released our first hit in India, it was a Hindi song called Kabhi, written in Hindi and Urdu. And I remember a ZTV reporter asking me, she's like, and she asked me in Urdu because I remember she was Muslim. Like, she had a name, like, I forget her name, but it was a Muslim name. And so she said, Sir, aap Sardar hokar Hindi mein kyun ga rahe ho?
Yeah.
And it caught me off guard, but I was quick on my feet. And I said to her, and I asked her, I said, Musulman sirf Pakistan se aate hai?
Yeah.
And she said, no, India se bhi hai. I said, theek hai. I said, Musulman kya Africa mein bhi nahi hota? Yeah, are they in North America? I said, yeah. I said, do they all speak Urdu? And she said, no, Muslims speak French from Western Africa. And I said, yeah, of course, they're all over the world. I said, so in the same way, a Sikh doesn't only have to speak Punjabi.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I know, but we associate that directly. And I said, I understand that you do, but that doesn't make it right. I said, my parents were born in Kenya. Their first language is Swahili.
Yeah.
They learned Punjabi, and my first language is French.
Right.
So I said, the world has to make that distinction between culture and religion, and how you cannot say that one religion has to speak a certain language.
Okay, that's part of that's part of the culture. But then you hit it gets even like when I went to California first time, right? And I went to an all white gurdwara,
Right.
right? And so all the thing, huh?
Where's this?
Where was it?
Probably New
It
Mexico.
no, it was south of San Francisco or something.
Okay, California.
California, right? And I remember being like, 'cause I'm always like curious. I'm a curious guy. I like to I'm always like a sponge. Let me soak all this up, and asking questions and that sort of thing. And I was shocked because I found them more in tune with the religion than most Sikh people I meet.
Wow.
Because all they have is the religion to grasp.
Yeah.
They don't really have any part of the culture.
They're focused on it.
Yeah, they're focused on it.
Yeah.
Whereas we kind of like take a little bit of each side for granted.
Right.
You take a little bit of the religion for granted, you take a little bit of the culture for granted, and you kind of mix, and you think they're like all mixed into one.
Yeah.
But they're actually two distinct things. And until you see it separated in live action, it doesn't hit you. Like it's very strange experience.
Yeah.
It actually is a major pet peeve of mine when somebody, will see either Sardar or anyone else just like sort of singing in a language or even a dialect that's outside of like hardcore Tate Punjabi.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, that's not Sikhism. That's not Punjabi.
Yeah.
And it actually drives me insane. And I've have those friends that will not listen to a certain genre of music because it's too Punjabi pop. And, you know, like they won't listen to a Daler Mehndi.
Or they use it. There's a Hindi word used instead of the Punjabi word used, right? Like,
Sure.
I will always like in some of my lyrics, I will say like, you know what, the Hindi version of this word sounds a little bit better in the song than the Punjabi version of the word, or vice versa, right?
It's better in the line, man.
Yeah, the execution of it, or phonetically, it just sounds better.
Yeah.
So I would do that, and people are like, well, why did you do that? I said, well, because like as a song,
Yeah.
it phonetically sounds better
Sounds
to
better,
me,
right.
And it kind of like expresses the emotion I want to give, right?
And then to discriminate against that,
Yeah.
for someone who's listening to discriminate against that, it really bothers me.
Well, it's a little bit ignorance, right?
It is.
Like,
It's a lot of ignorance. Yeah.
and so unless you've traveled a lot, well, the difference now is you don't have to travel so much because it's all on YouTube. If you're really a curious person, you can just do a deep dive on Sikhism, white Sikhs, you know, all kinds of, and it's like all there, and it's like really like, and you can go into the history of Sikhism from different perspectives.
Sure. Absolutely.
Right, not from the perspective of someone that was born and raised in Punjab, but someone who say studied it and lived in like California, and see how they perceive the religion. Because personally, I don't think Sikhism is a religion. I treat it more like as a philosophy, similar to Buddhism is not a religion; it's a philosophy. But then people are like push back on that. I'm like, well, if you study the historical context and culture and put all this stuff together, for me, I kind of like dilute things to the simplest baseline or first principles. And so for me, I've always treated like my religion, Sikhism, as a philosophy and way to live your life, which is, I think, the real, starting point of it. And I conduct myself that way instead of treating it like an actual, like this religion, because we don't have like idol worship and all these things that a lot of the religions do, right? So
I feel like I'm going straight to Dixie Gurdwara after
yeah,
this.
Yeah, dude.
I know it was
Sounds like a Sunday to me here, man.
and so
Like a Sunday.
and
I
so
was about to
I thought we were
take.
talking about like some really crazy stories.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I've met that.
I should be sitting down cross-legged right now. Yeah. Rup, the album.
Yeah.
When you write, is there such a thing as like kind of like a song version of a writer's block? Like do people stop making music for so long and then all of a sudden it kicks in? Like
Yeah.
so the album. What made you decide to do an album?
Well, at the beginning, I always go back to intention. I always go back to why you do something, right? What's the intention behind it?
Yeah.
And so back then, when you're innocent and you're just like, you have this pure love for music, and you just want to make music for the sake of writing a song, and you have something to say, and that's what we created. That was the reason we did that. And so we put all these songs together. We threw them against the wall. Whatever stuck, and it did well. We gave everything we had.
Yeah.
But then you get a writer's block, because then when you get involved with success in any way, now a record company is involved. Now money is involved, right? And so you're making a lot of money for this record company. So you've got a 3-album deal, and they come to you and they say, "Hey, listen, we need another hit now."
yeah, not a song.
I don't even have writer's block anymore.
Yeah, and
We don't care about your feelings.
no, forget about what you have to say. You're under the journey.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, right? We need a hit. And by the way, here's what's hitting today.
Yeah.
This is hot today. This is hot today. So why don't you come up with something like that?
Yeah.
What that does is it fucks with your intention,
Yeah.
right? So all of a sudden now you don't have that pure intention anymore. And if anything is screwed along the way when it comes to a pure intention, people will hear it.
Yeah.
People will hear that this was not from the heart. I've always believed that. And then you start having writer's block, because now you don't think about that journey within. You don't think about what you had to say. Now you think about what you think people want to hear you say.
The goal is different though.
The goal becomes different.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's where you start getting writer's block. And I found that, until we went back into our shell, until we went back and said, no, we don't care what you have to say. We're going to go and make our own album, which then took more time, right? Before, it was an everyday thing. Look, I believe that, you were talking about timeless music. You're talking about evergreen artists. Those are the artists that had something to say.
Yeah.
You know, an artist has to have something to say, whether you're painting,
Yeah.
whether you're singing, whether you're flower arranging. You have to have something to say, right? And a lot of artists, okay, you know, thali, there's this amazing saying, thali jari hundi hai. You know, an empty thali makes more noise,
Yeah.
right? Jari pari hundi hai,
Yeah.
right? It makes less noise, less garbage, right?
Yeah.
So in the same way, you know, there's a Yash Chopra used to say, you know, actor bahut hai,
Yeah.
star kam hai.
Yeah.
Right. In the same way, I say there's lots of singers.
Yeah.
There's lots of technically sound singers that will outsing me every day.
Yeah.
But there are very few artists that have something to say and create an original song that sticks for decades.
See, I think your perspective is different as a singer songwriter.
Yeah.
Me as a producer, my mentality has always been, listen, I'm here to entertain people. So the only thing I have to say is like, look, if I can't get you to feel something or like dance, or, you know, if I'm making a sad song, I want you to feel sad. If I want you
But in a way,
That comes from
sorry to cut you off. In a way, that's kind of the same.
yeah,
that is
the
artist-
intention's there.
Yeah, that is artistry.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And but like I never thought of it as like from you, I feel it's more of a journey for you, like from where you start and more exploration. For me, it's like, shit, man, how do I make a fucking banger?
Bass.
Yeah, I need more bass, man. Let's just turn up the
That's
bass.
your
right?
creative process, right? If your
Yeah.
dance floor is not full, right? You're not
Yeah.
successful to yourself in that minute. You have an entire process, not only when you're creating music and creating hits or remixes or producing new tracks, but even when you're entertaining in front of live audiences, right? I think that all of it comes from some sort of craft.
Yeah.
And, you know, you
100%.
yeah, and I think they are aligned in some way, but in today's world, it's harder to find artists that have a journey and a story that they want to talk about and really don't care about what you think. This is what I'm going to sing about.
Let me do it. So you're bad at stuff like this. You worked with numerous artists.
Yeah.
What's one that's kind of stood out? Do you have any stories or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this one time I was on a podcast and we ran out of disk space. What a
nightmare.
what a nightmare. Imagine that, right?
That's like our nightmare right now.
Right now.
We got in a car.
Yeah.
It didn't even have a start button in the car. It was like, "Oh, chabi wali gaddi."
Yeah.
Well,
And we went out to Canada.
2026. Can you believe it? Not even a fucking banjo start button.
We drove out there. We got the display. We got the drive. Came back. Continued the podcast. That was pretty cool. These are the things that we live for, right? The stories. So,
You know the guy that worked there? I knew once we walked in, I saw the look in his eyes. He's
What?
probably like,
All three brown guys walking.
yeah,
in?
he's like, fuck, man.
Well, yeah,
Why
they were
can't
two-
there be a white guy walking in and getting a hard drive or something, you know?
I
Just,
forgot. So that's officially 6 white people I've seen on my trip to Mississauga.
by the way, for those of you that are listening, that's exactly what just happened to
Yeah.
us here.
Yeah.
We were filming
Yeah.
this podcast. So
we literally ran out of space. No one's fault here. We're not blaming.
We're not blaming anybody.
I thought the segue was great because you said, do you have any good stories?
Yeah.
So Nelly Furtado, man.
Nelly Furtado.
Q and I were watching the Grammys, and she gets on the Grammys and sings "Kabhi Kabhi," and we're like, "Wow, wait a second, she likes Indian music, like." And she's from Canada, so we're like, "Man, it'd be so cool to work with her." So we started with the Google search, and we found her manager, Chris Smith. Finally, got a message out to him in a long time, and I'll never forget. I was on MSN Messenger, and I remember it popped up. You have a message from Chris Smith, and I was like, "What?"
Group, were you offline? And then you went back on.
I don't remember that part, Pudgy,
okay.
but I can tell you being very excited in that moment. And they're like, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna FedEx you the DVDs of the track. Do what you want with it and send it back." And they didn't think that we were gonna put vocals in it. We put our vocal part in it as well. Anyways, ended up they loved it.
I have to do a little bit of
You got to do something.
a little bit of
Head voice, harmonies.
hop it in, man.
So we had to do that. Anyways, it went well. And then here we are, with Nelly Furtado performing that song at Andheri Stadium in Bombay.
Oh wow.
A.R. Rahman's on the bill. Priyanka Chopra's on the bill. And that's a kind of night where we were driving home. It was a New Year's night. It was a Nokia New Year's special. Andheri Stadium. We ended the night with our song Powerless. And on the way home, Chris Smith, our manager at the time, was like, "Hey, man, I keep getting this invite to the New Year's party. All of us retired. We want to just go back to the JW in Bombay. And he's like, keep getting this message from Shah Rukh. I don't know, what is this Shah Rukh, man? I don't know. He's like, I'm like, I don't want to go. I said, Nelly, do you want to go? She's like, no, I don't want to go anywhere. And so I was like, show me your phone anyways. I look at the phone. It's Shah Rukh. I'm like, turn the gaddi mode de.
Yeah.
Turn the gaddi around right now. I said, everybody, we're going.
Yeah.
So we ended up going to Shah Rukh's house, where half of Bollywood was. And it was really cool because they knew JoSH. They knew us, but we don't live there, so we don't understand the power of television at the time. And so we had a great night, and everybody's like, oh yeah, I like number 3 on your album, I like number 2 on your album. All these big Bollywood stars coming up to us and saying that. And Shah Rukh was very generous. He greeted us and he's like, hey, Rup, hi Khurram, nice to meet you guys. We love your music. What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff we've been through, man.
What a feeling.
It was wonderful, really.
That's, so where do you go from that when you get that stardom? Everyone knows your music, right? This is pretty much a question for both of you guys. Everybody knows your tracks. Everybody knows you. What do you do next?
It's all downhill from there.
You do podcasts, bro, and cooking shows.
You become successfully unemployed.
Yes.
Hopefully you
That's
invested
the
your
end
money
game.
wisely. That's all.
So Shah Rukh Khan's the end game right there.
Well, very well said.
Yeah.
A lot of artists have asked, how have you been in this game for more than 20 years? A lot of people ask that. And it's exactly what you just said. When you understand that there's going to be highs and lows, right?
Yeah.
You have to understand that, how are you gonna get through the lows? And the only way is
there's no paycheck. There's no paycheck, right?
no
So
paycheck. you better invest at the right time.
I know a lot of artists from my generation. Like, well, when I say artists, like I'm going more based on like the producers, right? Because I'm not. I was always essentially like behind the scenes, right? Because essentially, like, except for when I was DJing and stuff, but you guys are like the performers. You're on stage. I think that's like a very different. Like, it's a different job essentially to what I was doing. And so my mindset was like, look, I don't know how long this is going to last. I don't know. And so while everyone else was out partying and buying Coke and doing whatever, I was out just saving every penny, right? And living on a fixed budget and being super conjuice about everything, right? And the only thing you knew how to, like, everyone says invest, but the only thing back then, I didn't understand the stock market at the time. And so you think, okay, buy a flat, rent it. And that's like the only thing like I understood what investing meant.
Yeah, so you dove into it, and you
buy it, you go to the bank, you get the mortgage, and then you rent it out, and then hopefully the rent is worth more than the cost to carry it. Like, it's pretty straightforward math, right? And so I would start doing that since I was like 24, 25,
for you, man.
right? And so that was part of it. But then you hear a lot of stories like now when you see a lot of artists that are struggling as they get, because everyone thinks like, oh, it's gonna be golden years forever. When it's hot, like when it's good, a lot of people are delusional enough to think this is gonna be forever, man. This is never gonna stop because I'm so good.
And then you're spending all kinds for nothing, and not really getting
Keeping up
any
with the
return for it.
Joneses,
Yeah.
and
Right.
And so the other thing that was really, which struck me is if you're, let's say, for example, an accountant or a doctor or a dentist, you can show up to someone's house in a Toyota Corolla. They ain't gonna judge you because they go, well, no, the guy's a doctor or a dentist. Like he's successful because he's a doctor or dentist. When you're an artist and you show up in a Toyota Corolla, they go loser, right? Because this guy's a failure. Like, can you imagine now? Say that you got Jazzy B shows up in a Toyota Corolla.
Yeah.
Right away, doesn't matter how much gold Jazzy's wearing, anything. They're gonna say, what the hell? He hasn't done nothing.
No, at this point, I'd have a lot of respect for that because of where I'm at
Well,
in my career.
no, now culturally it's a little bit different.
Wow, yeah.
Now it's about the poorer you look, the richer you look, right?
Yes.
But at that time, at that time, it was like you doing the whole flossing culture, right?
Yeah, we actually wrote a song about that.
Yeah.
which became one of our biggest hits. We would come back from India with these massive ego, like
Yeah.
big heads, come back as stars, and like nobody in the streets of Montreal knew us, right? And
Yeah.
we would not be able to walk a street in Bombay.
Do you know who we are?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah, and we would say that in French actually. No, but My mom, I'll remember being in the kitchen and leaving my dishes and, kind of getting like, "Oi, putter, go get your, put your dishes back." And then, so we started seeing this trend and this pattern in us getting a little bit more egoistic than we should have. So we wrote a song called Mahive Mahive Arz Karan.
Yeah.
Mainu vi asmani fitrat de. So give me those noble thoughts and actions. Vadda vi hoke, as big as I get, chukya rawa.
Yeah.
Stay to the ground. Dola ve himmat de.
Wow.
So I don't know if you guys remember that song, but it goes, Mahive Mahive Arz Karan, Mainu vi asmani fitrat de, Vadda mein hoke vi chukya rawa, Dola ve himmat de. And that song, it really connected with a lot of people. And we try to stay very honest. Like, man, this shit's getting out of hand.
You want to say salt of the earth,
Yeah,
right?
this shit's getting out of hand. Let's
Can
try
you
to
sing more for me?
Is that the smile?
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
No, but yeah. So just to connect with what you were saying, it's a highs and lows. But you invested. So buying flats, maybe stock market is. I didn't know how to do any of that stuff, despite having a economics degree.
So I think as an artist, I think it's one of those things where it's first impression. If you want to go off big, have this flashy lifestyle, whatever it is, then you got to live with it for the.
That's
right?
it.
It's a high that
You got to
just want-
maintain. You got to
But
maintain it,
if
right?
you're not, if you're kind of keeping it low, like your music videos or just in general,
I always did cheap music videos.
it's not really the cheap. It's more of just what was in it. I think that's what people will see represented.
What exactly are you trying to say right now?
Well, I never had a flat.
No, I'm saying I'm just
Any
saying,
after doing
you
but-
broke. No.
Yeah, but after doing 50, 60 music videos,
No.
I never had a Lambo. I never had a.
No.
I never had none of that.
What
stuff.
I'm saying is
Never.
the image that you have. That's why I think it connects with a lot of people, right? It's not about the flashy lifestyle for both of you
Well,
guys.
it's
It's
about the
more
music.
about the message. Sanj, yours was more to people in general, audience
Having a good time.
having a good time, right?
Right.
So I think that's where you can have a normal life after. But when you have all these other artists who kind of have to showcase such a high lifestyle, it's a tough. It's
Yeah,
a tough.
but there's also a part of it. I think more for, let's say, for example, being a performer is. Is it the real you, or are you playing a character? Like for me, I never found DJ Sanj very interesting. Like just for me personally. So
But you created them.
yeah, I created, but it wasn't very interesting to me. I always thought Sanj was more interesting than DJ Sanj. And so when I retired in when I turned 40 in 2000, say 14, 15, right? It was very easy. Like everyone called me Sam. And I just changed my beard, grew my hair out like down to here. And it was like that whole part of my life never existed for a decade.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that part of it because I was just kind of like, I like being normal. Like I like to go to
High cholesterol.
yeah, pre-diabetic and like and go into the grocery store, go to Tim Hortons and never get recognized.
Yeah.
And I that's nice for me. Like I like that because in England I couldn't do that. I go anywhere and I would get recognized constantly, nonstop, and do autographs. And I didn't feel comfortable being that person. Whereas I know some artists, they love being, they go out of their way to get recognized because they're wearing sunglasses at 11 o'clock in the morning. Do you know what I mean? Like in the mall.
I could never care for that.
Yeah.
I could
Or at
never
nighttime
care for any of that.
I like 2 a.m, sunglasses at night. Like literally like,
Yeah.
So I was just never that kind of artist.
It's better that you weren't, because there's a lot of, especially today, that intention that I was speaking about in the beginning. The intention is not to say something to the world and be an artist. The intention is to be famous
And rich.
and rich. Well, they don't always go together, especially in today's world, right?
Well,
a million views doesn't mean rich anymore.
yeah. So for example, like I was watching an interview with an artist. It was a British artist. He's one of the singers. There's a boy band called Bros. There's two brothers, I think, or two friends, and basically, like they were kind of the one hit wonders. And he goes, the worst thing in life to be is famous and broke. Right? He goes, the worst thing.
Yeah.
And it just always sat with me going, you know what? I'd rather be like not broke and not famous.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So for me, it was like when I saw that, I was like going, that guy is basically giving you a blueprint of what not to do.
Yeah, but I think some people can't relate to that being famous, right? I think that's the problem. They want to catch that, and then once they get it, it's like, hey, it's not for
But
me.
what is like people don't understand? Famous is just a bunch of bullshit. Really, it's like so someone knows you
Yeah,
before
but
you
you've been
introduce
famous.
yourself.
That's the thing. You've been it, so you can say it, right? A lot of people just haven't chased it, and they want to know what it feels like. That's all.
Also, the definition of being famous,
Celebrity fame,
everything's
it's-
changed, right?
yeah.
You can do 6'7" and become the world's most famous, recognized face on the planet, and you've done nothing, right? And so you just like play a crappy song on the couch one day, and it goes viral.
Well, the bar is low now, right? Like,
The bar has changed, right? So being famous now, what is it?
well, you could actually do the world record for farting the most times consecutively and put that on TikTok and YouTube, and you could be famous.
You'll be more famous than
Oh, yeah, no,
forever.
not more famous than anything I've ever done. So,
Yeah, one of the things that I think JoSH took to heart was, okay, we can't just have one revenue stream, right? So how are we gonna make more? Because we were selling CDs at the time and doing very well, really good with that. But then concerts came, and okay, we have to start understanding concerts. How are we going to continuously increase the price of our concert? How do we go from $2,000 to $30,000? And there was a strategy behind it. A lot of artists are not understanding that, and how to do that. And then third was, endorsement deals. So when we were in the mix of a deal in Pakistan for Samsung, Samsung was looking for its first brand ambassador ever. And it was a big deal because I wore a turban. I wear a turban, right? So there was never been a person with a turban on a billboard in Pakistan. And there was two other massive artists in the mix, and they were choosing. And I'll never forget, it was a Korean head of the Samsung of Pakistan, and he asked me, he's like, Mr. Rup, why do you want to be the brand ambassador? And I said, well, there's only one reason. He said, to sell phones.
good answer.
And he looked at me and he said, what? And he's like, a lot of people have mentioned that, you're not exactly what a Pakistani looks like, and it might not be the best decision. And I said, yeah, I understand that. That does make a lot of sense. But I'll promise you that we will sell out the phone that we do the commercial for. And he said, really? And I said, yeah, and I want to make a deal with you. If we do sell it out, then you give me 2 more commercials after that.
Yeah.
So we did 3 commercials, guys.
There you go. Congratulations.
And that was enough
Congrats.
and that was enough to buy the house in Toronto.
Yeah.
So you have to, then we did a deal with McDonald's, then we did a deal with Pepsi and Coke. And so I was really good at making sure we always had a different revenue stream at all times. And if you don't branch out and understand that it's going to be a very tough place to live and to survive financially.
I also think because the way life is now, it moves so fast. Everything is fleeting now. So, like, you might be famous today, you're literally not famous tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the young kids, especially, they understand like because you can self-publish now. You can basically take your song, put it out through a distributor, and have it all over the world in literally a second, right? And so I think that because they think that part's easy, that's always been the easy part. The hard part is how to adjust your business model for longevity. And I don't think any of the artists I asked a question to a couple of producers last month. I said, you name me someone who's broke big after COVID. Like not during COVID, not before COVID, after, because they were naming all the big artists. Yeah, that's during COVID or before COVID. After COVID, who was blown up
and stuck around.
and stuck around? And you know what? They couldn't name anybody.
So look, the barriers to entry now are removed.
Yeah, done.
So in my time, if I wanted to do an album, we put together $10,000.
Yeah.
We had a co-producer. We had a recording studio. We had to go through mixing. It was a lot. It wasn't just pressing a button. And we hired live musicians. You're going back to the early 2000s. So the barriers to entry were financial. You had to have a lot of time. You had to put in time to writing your lyrics.
The contacts.
The contacts. So it wasn't for everybody. No. Today, like you said, anybody can go and create a song and actually release it. Not only like releasing back then, and could you imagine we're two guys out of Montreal trying to release an album on Universal Music India.
Yeah.
With no email, with no mobile phones.
And you like go into the shop next door to buy the phone cards. They call Universal India.
Yeah, we would do that, and then barely got to India. And when we got to India, they would say, "Na akal na shakal singer banna hai. Niklo yahan se. You're not. You don't got it." So 4 or 5 years, lagatar, keep doing it, and that's when we finally got our first break. And even then, it wasn't enough. Even our first album was a flop.
Yeah.
It's like the second album when it became a hit. So those barriers to entry, going to India, getting on a flight, you don't have to do any of that anymore.
No.
The issue though is that you're not alone in doing that. There's 20,000 songs coming out a day.
Yeah.
So how
well, more than that now.
Right. So the strategy now should not be making a good song. The strategy now should be, how are you going to get that song heard to everybody 10 to 20 times? How are you going to get that? How are you going to get that hook? Because a song today is as good as the number of times you hear it.
Mm-hmm. That's only part of it now. Now it's about IP, right? Your intellectual property. That for me, I think is the moat, because now like there's so many songs coming out that there's only so many number of songs people can consume. Also, don't forget, they've got the history of all music at their
As well.
as well.
As well.
As well as all the 20,000 every day, right?
So how do you get that song listened to new?
It's not about the song, I don't think, anymore.
It's not.
It's about the IP. If you can develop yourself into a brand and into an IP, and that's your moat, and then that IP is now creating music, content, and different forms that can be consumed. That's now the strategy. It's a 360-degree strategy now.
But I'll still come back to, let's just say, you gather your IP. How are you going to get it played? How are you going to get it to people's ears, right? There's a very famous quote, if a tree fell in the forest and nobody heard it.
Yeah, exactly.
Did it fall?
Well, but also the benefit of that is that failure doesn't mean anything anymore, because no one even knows you failed.
There's no hardship.
No hardship. So
It's that easy to go in and
so for example, back if I had a flop album, everyone knew it was a flop.
Right.
Right. Oh, DJ SANJ came out. It was trash. Right. But when you're under the radar, you have a flop album. No one even knows.
It's so tough. Like, we've been on stage and somebody's like, "Oh, buddy, nava gana nahi kadya tusi."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, bro, like 2 months ago, the brand new singles out there."
We get that all the time.
Like, what do you mean? So you kind of start living with it, right? You start understanding you're not going to be able to get the song to everybody. So you focus on what you can do, right? You focus on what you're good at.
Yeah.
Focus on and of course, back to contacts. Who can you send? Which radio stations can you send the songs to? Who's going to play it for you? Which social media?
I think they let the algorithm do the work for you. That's where
It's
I
doing
go.
it for millions of people on a daily basis.
Yeah,
Right? So
but
you've got to be one step ahead.
How's it going to be in your favor, right?
What?
How's it going to be in your favor? How's that algorithm?
I'll give you an example. So I'm putting out what? I've got about 50, 60 new songs I put out. And I bet you people have heard maybe one. Okay. But what happens is, that's how I perceive it. But if you actually look at the numbers, you have all the analytics you never had before.
Sure.
So I know how many monthly listeners are going up or down. I know how many active listeners. I know how many super listeners. I know how many followers I'm gathering. Then I've got the tools of Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, YouTube, and these are all their own separate algorithms. End of the day, I firmly believe if you create music that will resonate with people, right? The algorithm wants to send it to them, right? At some point, it'll click. Because I've had viral records that have blown up after 10 years, 15 years.
Sure. No, of course.
So now, because I'm patient, I'll play the long game, because what everyone's trying to do now, and which one that's spending so much money up on the front end of it, is because they want the attention and they want the fame and they want everything now. How do I get my song heard now so I can become famous and rich?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, listen, I'm not playing that game. I'm going to put a bunch of music out. The algorithm has it. It's on the platforms. Eventually, someone's going to do a TikTok on it. Eventually, someone's going to listen to it, add to a playlist. And you can see on Spotify, for example, every week, 100 playlist ads, 75 playlist ads, 300 playlist ads. It's getting added, but the problem is it takes time for it then to hit critical mass. And what I find is people just don't have the attention span or the patience to hit critical mass.
Rup, you mentioned that you did commercials. Was that like a little itch for you to start acting, or like?
Yeah.
How did that come over?
Acting started with the movie Breakaway. You guys remember Breakaway? Yeah. So they had
Speedy
asked,
Sings.
Speedy Sings. Well, Speedy Sings in India.
Yeah.
Everywhere else it was Breakaway. So they
And
asked
England.
me to.
Was it England?
England too, yeah.
It's
yeah.
Speedy Sings,
Yeah.
right?
Well, we realized that most of the world didn't know what a breakaway was.
Well, they don't even know what hockey is.
Right. So there's a little bit of maneuvering done, but the production team had asked me to do a cameo in the film. So there's a lot of cameos. Jesse Sidhu's in the cameo. He did a song, and then so I sent back a tape, an audition tape type of thing that they really liked, and they said, we just read on your Wikipedia that you're from Montreal, so of course you can skate, right? Now, guys, I'm an athletic guy. I'm an athletic guy. I can do everything. I just couldn't skate at the time, and yes, it's not the.
But you said yes.
I said, hell yeah, of course. When are you filming? Right?
Fake it to make it. That's what it
So
is.
they said, listen, we have 3 months. And I said, cool, man. Yeah. They offered me a lead role. So I said, okay, I'd love to do this. Now, of course, 25 music videos at the time. You understand how it is to be in front of a camera. You're not that bad. And felt like a natural thing for me, natural progression in my career. And so I call up my neighbor from Montreal. I lived in Toronto at the time, and I was like, "Hey, Patrice, remember you used to say to me, hey, Rup, you should be skating, I'm like, listen, I need to learn how to skate. I have 2 months." He had a laugh, and then he helped me out, and he got me a lot of ice time because he's a hockey coach. So he got me ice time, and I broke my ass learning how to skate for 2 months. But the story where it gets really fun is that on the first day of filming, I see this guy, and he seriously looks like me. Just like really weird. I'm like, this is same darty, same color, same height, same bug.
Yeah.
So the director, Rob Lieberman at the time, he walks over the ice and he's like, hey, great to meet you. I hadn't even met him yet. Great to meet you. And he's like, did you meet your body double? He's going to be doing all your skating. So what the fuck are you talking about?
So you didn't have to do it all. But it's good that you learned anyway.
No, he said, look, everything bottom down when it's going to be those crazy moves. This is the guy who's going to do it. And everything on top that we need to film, halka, you're going to need to skate. Yeah. And I was like, listen, I think I could do both. So I ended up doing a lot more than I needed to. But that's how it started.
You lost a man a job.
Yeah. I think he still got paid for his thing. He was hired. Breakaway was a great experience. Got to work with top brass. Russell was on it. Vinay Ramani, who wrote and co-produced that film, his dad, Ajay. And it was a great cast, man. It was amazing.
I've been telling Sanders this. I was like, that era of, do you want to consider it as a rom-com? What do you want to call it? What do you call that genre? Yeah, what do you call that?
Probably a rom-com,
right?
yeah.
That era of like English, Punjabi, Desi movies is like, it needs a little bit more nowadays than.
Yeah, but that was essentially geared to what we at the time. You don't hear the term anymore, but NRIs.
Yeah,
like non-resident Indians.
Yeah,
right?
audiences have changed.
Audiences changed because now there's no
you
really
could modernize it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like the whole Bollywood at the time as well really geared their movies towards NRI audience.
Yeah.
But that's all changed now because I think the demographics have drastically changed in the last 5 to 10 years, especially in Canada, right? And so I don't know how relevant. Like that's why I like Just Rain's show we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like that kind of vibe where it's like the NRI, like the kind of kids that grew up in Toronto and Brampton, and their everyday life and that kind of vibe. And I mean, like I think it comes in waves. I think stuff like that's gonna come back.
Yeah, it's been done though, right? You have your Kerala, the soccer player, Bend It Like Beckham.
Ben like that.
Right,
And
so-
didn't a sequel come out?
No, but the stage play came out, so it's done a long run.
They're doing Ben Late Beckham 2, or is it already out?
No, there is no.
There is
I
it?
don't think there is one.
No.
But then this was a similar zero to hero kind of film.
You should try to get it on there. Benelli Beckham too.
No, I think they're shooting it, or it's out.
I think you should audition
We
for
should
it.
try to get into it. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I want to be acting. Do I want to?
It's fun, man. It's fun.
But in the movie, Rob Lowe, right? Like, obviously, there's levels to acting. Like,
Yeah.
Did you notice the level of a top tier actor compared to?
Like Anupam Kher, for instance.
Yeah.
Anupam.
that's
there
right,
was there was Rob Lowe, Russell Peters. Not known for his acting. But he was
Well, even now he's not
really
known
funny.
for his act.
no. But even on set, the guy was great. Like everything that came out of his mouth was so funny.
Right?
Cookie Budgie was on it. Yeah, still a dear friend of mine. And then from there, I went on to doing some short films. I actually got really into the craft. I started learning how to write. I've written a script, working on it right now. It's actually food based. Hopefully producing it by next year. And then I did the film with Satinder Sartaaj and Shabana Azmi.
Will there be a role for us in it?
Yeah, well, the food film.
Yeah.
Of course, man.
Done. See, look at us. That's what you do.
Listen,
He's gotta ask.
I can eat. This guy can definitely eat.
He can eat because you're cheating on the eating, so you can do
Well,
it.
listen, look at your.
I have no shame. I'm not. You're worried,
You're right.
You're worried about your body.
You're
I'm
absolutely
not
right. You have no shame.
I have no shame. Look at this.
Like looking at you, obviously, it's no shame.
I'm literally looking at a mirror of myself in 10 years right now.
Bro, he wants to legalize tadka.
Yeah.
Right?
You gotta legalize it, man.
Enough said, right?
It's my favorite T-shirt, though. I want one of those, man.
Hey, listen, Nick, where can anyone buy your T-shirt?
nickdougal.com/shop and it'll be there.
For real?
For real, yeah.
He messing around.
He doesn't mess around.
Yes, man.
He's got
Buy the merch.
He's got his business hat on, right?
Always. You always
As you should. As you should,
gotta
man.
talk shop, man. Where so you got a script.
Yeah.
You're gonna put it through next year.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about it?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's so some of my travels. When we travel on the road, you learn a lot of things. You notice things in different cultures in different countries. And so when I would go to India, Pakistan, while the females would have the responsibility of the food in the house. It wasn't the same situation in the professional side, in the restaurant side. I would rarely see waitresses. I would rarely see head chefs that are female. I would rarely see, if you did see it, maybe be a hostess. And I, as you guys know, I love to cook. And in my house, I'm the chef. I cook at home. My wife,
I'm the chef.
my wife does cook. My wife, she's very good at it.
Who's the boss in the marriage?
Bro, she is, man. There's only one right answer to this.
Oh, I just say I believe in dictatorship, man. There's no democracy, man.
He's also the guy like, yes, dear, hanji, hanji.
Did you ever work in the restaurant industry?
Yeah, I grew up in it. My dad had coffee shops and pizza shops in Montreal.
Okay.
So that's where the love was. But anyways, the script is about a girl from Delhi who wants to be a head chef. She wants to be a superstar chef. And she learns very early on that her fiance to be is really lying about supporting her career.
Okay.
Because in their families, we're not chefs.
Yeah.
Chefs, we own chefs. We hire chefs, right? We don't cook.
Yeah.
So it was that high class thing, and then so she kind of just rebels from that, and then it's a beautiful story. And then she comes to learn from Chef Kabir Singh, who I'm playing chef, and I'm basically a broken down rock star chef once upon a time who I just teach now.
Okay,
so I've
okay.
lost all flair of wanting to be that top notch chef, and she brings it back out of me. There's a beautiful, beautiful story written by a slew of writers, not just me, and hopefully we'll get that out soon to you guys.
sounds
man.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, as long listen, if there's like eater number 1 and eater number 2
In the credits.
No, I think you should be good as busboy. You'd be a great busboy.
I used to be a busboy. I've actually got practice.
I used to be.
I used to be a busboy at the Keg.
Okay.
I think we talked about you had a job at the Keg and I had a job at the Keg.
Keg, yeah. I had a job at the Keg. I was a waiter, and then I became a bartender for a bit. And
I got in lots of trouble when my dad found out about my job at the Keg when I was 16.
He wasn't proud of you?
No, because he's thinking like, listen, when I come home, all I care about is you studying.
Yeah.
I don't want you doing a job. I'm not.
Wow.
I'm not going to work for you to do a job and be a busboy. I'm working so that you can get education.
So you can become a DJ.
And become,
And a producer.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's like.
Forget you, Dad.
That really worked well, huh?
like,
Forget
yeah.
you, Dad. I'm gonna be a DJ.
Yeah. I showed you. Like, hey, but
But the restaurant industry is it's long nights, man. It's you don't leave till 3 a.m.
The least grateful business.
Grateful, yeah.
yeah, and they say like 90% of restaurants fail in the first
But the people that work there, you don't understand. I think. Well, you.
Well, I do because we had restaurants, right?
Yeah, but your dad fired you. No.
Yeah.
So did the Keg.
So yeah.
So did the Keg.
So I did get fired from the Keg.
Stealing it.
I got fired from the Keg. My parents owned a couple of Italian restaurants in Texas, and I was the bread boy.
Bread boy?
Yeah, I used to take care of the bread. Put the bread in the oven.
Yeah.
Take it out of the oven, and then I used to clean up after.
Bro, listen, if you got fired from that,
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That's.
I mean,
Listen, I'm even lucky. I could DJ. I mean, even that's like a stretch. But like I'm lucky I could do that.
Oh man,
Right? Like, that's what they nickname in school, Mr. Press Play, DJ Press Play.
that's amazing. That's amazing. And then so now you know you're in the music game again. You know, we just heard it in the car.
Yeah.
Honestly, I actually really liked it.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
It's got that nice vibe to it. Good driving, just good. You know, sometimes I think you just we live in a world where it's just so much noise, and sometimes you just need to like, you know, it's kind of like when you're driving without music, but this is just puts a cherry on top when
Thanks,
you
man.
listen to it. Right?
Look,
That's the first thing I thought.
Doing a solo album, you know, especially with the blessing.
So it's not just a single, it's a full album.
Yeah, it's a full album, you know. It's called Disrupt.
Okay.
My name Rup is in that name, by the way. Disrupt. It's, yeah.
And capitals.
Yeah, it's just it's a little bold.
Got it. So,
Yeah.
okay.
But the album is about disruptive lyrics.
Didn't Hugo, where's my name? But there's no word that actually.
Can you talk?
Oh, sorry. Go on. I'm just curious. Like, there's both of them. Like,
No, so look, this is with his blessings, right? That I really wanted to just do something on my own because, you know, over time, you also want to write about different things. You're in a duo. You know, he wants to write a love song, and I'm like, no, man, I want to write about, you know, the government, the current government situation. And we're just clashing a lot on that, even though we still have, you know, singles coming out. So this is an album with mostly disruptive lyrics, questioning a lot about religion, questioning a lot about spirituality, about norms of society and how we're boxed in. Into these things. So this song that you heard today, Aaj Mera Ji Karda, Kavan Asmana Nu, Roki Na Udana Nu. So basically, you know, I'm telling even the skies that you won't be able to stop me from flying. And so the song is called Flight Mode, what you just heard. And it's a Sufi funk song because I had to really go deep within myself and say, okay, if I'm not playing with Q, if I'm not in JoSH, who am I? I don't know who I am alone. So I went back to my Montreal roots, growing up like loving funk bands, loving funk music, and truly loving the lyrical sense of Sufi music. How Baba Bulle Shah writes, how Rumi writes, and other Sufi saints who are all generally question religion and mainstream religion for that matter.
Yeah.
And so I really like that aspect of it. Being able to make the distinction between culture and religion as well.
Yeah.
It comes into these lyrics, and just, you know, wrapping it all up with a cool, fresh sound that is not what's going on in today's world, and not being overbent. Like I'm not that interested in making a hit. I just want to do something different. I'm in it for the long game, forever, and I'll just keep putting music out. I hope it resonates with.
This is just one chapter in the book. Right?
Yeah, man. I hope it resonates with a few people. I hope they feel the same questions that I have, and we can just discuss about it and talk about it. And so yesterday is actually the last day of my video shoot for that song. Yeah, so it's a really cool part of the musical journey for me because I'm back to a pure intention. I'm back to just writing what I want to write about, whether you like it or not. I really hope you like it, and I'll do my best. But if you don't, it's okay. You know, it's all right. That's totally fine. It's going to be fresh. It's going to be new. Everything fresh takes a long time to get on your ears, right? So
I just say trust the algorithm. It's going to get it to the right person at the right time.
It's like, forget the lyrics, forget about the artistry. Just
Well, like we told you that, like I've got so many songs that have blown up like a decade later. I'm like, I even forgot I made the song. Like, I'm like, I don't.
It's such a good ending to the thing, and somehow you just have to talk about yourself.
You know, we're gonna have a talk afterwards, okay?
We'll definitely have it.
I say do it now. I say have the talk now.
Well, everyone keeps telling us we need to go for marriage counseling, so we're looking into it.
Or start a band.
We're taking.
Because that'll make sure you ended something.
Well, we were practicing our harmonies.
You were
yeah, we
practicing.
were practicing. We can do it.
Oh ho ho ho!
Wow.
Where can everyone follow you, Rup? Like we've been, you know, like I've been a fan, you know, since the early days. Still a fan. Again, thank you for coming on the pod. Thank you for, you know, obviously we had some technical difficulties, which was okay, and you stayed around. So, you know, thank you for that.
We appreciate it.
So
Listen, you can find me at nickdougal.com. You can buy all my work.
Look, see, smile.
खुश हो गया बंदा खुश हो गया Rup Magon RUPMAGON. I hope you have it written down somewhere, but yeah,
you don't have the shirt.
You know, I don't have TikTok, but I'm getting onto that. And I'm starting it because I realize a lot of music discovery is happening there, and you just gotta you gotta go with the flow sometimes, man. And yeah, so Instagram, whatever it is, and I hope you guys listen to the songs, JoSH and Rup. And you know what? I'm glad that we actually connected.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
On a musical level, on a friendship level.
Yeah.
And, no thanks to our common friend Rohit. I'm gonna just call you out on this, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, hey. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.